ब्रह्मनाथ। ओ शांति शांति शांति। स्वस्थ।
Hello students, in the previous class we discussed about the genetic basis of the cancer, in which we discussed about the oncogene and also about the tumor suppressor gene. Further, we discussed about the various diagnosis of the cancer, symptoms of the cancer, and lastly we discussed the treatment of the cancer, in which we discussed the surgery, the radiation therapy, the immunotherapy, and lastly we discussed the chemotherapy. Today we will discuss a new topic that is called your AIDS. This is a disorder which we all are familiar with, or we know that we all know this term called AIDS. The full form of the AIDS is called the acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Always you should remember that the terms, the full form you should know correctly. Okay, some children, some students write the acquired immune disease syndrome. Okay, no. It is acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Okay, you should always remember the correct full form. Sometimes full form also comes in your exams. Okay, maybe it may come. So what is AIDS? We can say AIDS is a cell mediated immunity disorder. How? As we know, in the case of the cell mediated immunity, we know that the T lymphocytes plays the major role. And what happens in the AIDS? When a person is being infected by the AIDS, then what happens? The viruses attacks directly on the T lymphocyte, or we can say the T cell, or if we will go to the particularly, then helper T cell. Okay, we will go in detail to one by one. First we will write, it is a cell mediated immunity disorder. AIDS is a cell mediated immunity disorder. Okay. Next point. It is a sexually transmitted disease caused by a retrovirus called the HIV. Okay, HIV. It is a sexually transmitted disease caused by retrovirus called that is HIV. Okay, HIV, human immune deficiency virus. Next point. What does this HIV or the human immune deficiency virus does? The HIV first of all kills the helper T cell, and we know the main function of the helper T cell is to help the B lymphocytes to produce the antibody. So if these viruses will kill the helper T cell, then obviously helper T cell will be unable to function or help the B cell to produce the antibody, and that is why in our body the antibody will not form, and we are unable to fight against the disease causing pathogen. So we can write here, these viruses kills the helper T cells, which helps the B cell to produce antibody. As a result, our body becomes unable to fight with the disease causing pathogen. Okay, so these viruses kills the helper T cell. What do you know? The helper T cell, as I said now only, that the helper T cell helps in the B cell to produce the antibody. As the viruses will kill the helper T cell, then obviously the helper T cell now as it is killed, now the B cell can't form the antibody. So that is why when the virus kills the helper T cell, now our body becomes unable to produce the antibody. Okay, and we are unable to fight against various disease causing pathogen, by which our immunity system lowers, or we can say degrades, by which we are unable to fight against the disease causing pathogen, and we easily attacked by the various disease causing pathogen as our immune system is being lowered. So AIDS is a sexual mediated immunity disorder. First one, it is obviously it is a sexual transmitted disease caused by the retroviruses. Okay, retroviruses in which the RNA forms the genetic material, and the main virus which causes the AIDS is your HIV, or the human immune deficiency virus, and this virus kills the helper T cell, which helps the T cells which help the B cells to produce antibody, and that helper T cell is being killed by the virus. That is why as a result our body becomes unable to fight with the disease causing pathogen. Okay. Now come to the discovery. Where it was discovered? First it was discovered in USA among the we can say the homosexual homosexual partner. It was first discovered in USA, okay, in the year 1981. In India, it was first discovered in Chennai among the prostitutes. Next, who means the HIV virus is mainly responsible for the AIDS. Who first clear, or we can say who told that the HIV is the main reason behind the AIDS? So your answer will be the Francois Bear-Synoussi and the Louis Montagnier. Okay. In the 2008, Francois Bear-Synoussi and the Louis Montagnier, in the year 2008, they told that the HIV virus is the main responsible, or HIV virus is the main responsible or the main cause behind the AIDS. Okay, the AIDS, the HIV full form is your human immune deficiency virus. Always remember, AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. HIV, human immune, okay, deficiency virus. Do not confuse, okay. And this name, this HIV virus name was given by the International Committee on Viral Nomenclature in the year 1986. And the Francois and Louis in the year 2008, as they told that the HIV virus is the main responsible for the AIDS, they also got the Nobel Prize for this. Okay, so as of now we discussed the AIDS is a sexual transmitted disease caused by the retrovirus called the HIV. HIV kills the helper T cell, by which we are unable to produce the antibody, and we are unable to fight against the disease causing pathogen. Discovery, it was first discovered in USA among the homosexual in the year 1981, and in Chennai, in India, in Chennai among the prostitutes it was first discovered. And the Francois Bear-Synoussi and the Louis Montagnier in the year 2008, they told that the HIV is the main responsible for HIV virus is the main responsible for the AIDS. Okay, and the term or the name HIV was given, the human immune deficiency virus was given by International Committee on Viral Nomenclature in the year 1986. Okay. And the scientists Francois and the Louis got the Nobel Prize for discovering that the HIV is the main reason behind the AIDS. Okay, please note down. Now we'll discuss the structure of the HIV virus. The HIV virus is somehow we can say that it is enclosed by the lipid bilayer. The lipid bilayer. It is enclosed by the lipid bilayer. Okay. Having the globular glycoprotein called the GP120, and this stalk-like structure is called the glycoprotein 41 or the GP41. Okay. Next. In the center, you can see that the two single-stranded RNA filaments are present. Okay, as we know, the organisms in which the RNA plays the genetic material or RNA is the genetic material, we tell them as the retroviruses. Okay, so we can know that the two single-stranded RNA filaments are enclosed by a capsid. Okay, capsid having the protein, or we can say it is the P24. Okay, and further in the matrix the P17 is also present. Further, all around the lipid bilayer, the glycoprotein spikes are present. So one question arises, what is the capsid? Capsid is the characteristic features of the lentiviruses. Okay, because the lentiviruses has the elongated conical viral protein capsid, and the HIV virus is one of the, we can say, the lentivirus. Lentivirus means what? It is the group of virus having the elongated conical viral protein capsid, and HIV virus is one of them. Okay. So as of now we discussed that the HIV virus is we can say it is surrounded by the lipid bilayer. Okay, first point. Then in the center we can know the two single-stranded RNA filaments are present. As the RNA is the genetic material here, we know it is the retrovirus. Okay, next. The RNA single-stranded RNA filaments are enclosed by a capsid known as your P24. Okay, and further in the matrix P17 is present. The globular protein surrounding the lipid bilayer is your GP120, and the stalk-like structure is your GP41. And overall, all over the lipid bilayer, the globular called the glycoprotein spikes are present. Next, in the RNA, or we can say the RNA filaments or the single-stranded RNA filaments, we can know the red color you can see, these are your reverse transcripted enzyme which helps in converting from the RNA into the DNA. Okay, so the red-like structure you are seeing on the RNA, these are your reverse transcripted enzyme which helps in converting the RNA into the DNA, the RNA into the DNA. Okay, so this is all about your structure of the HIV virus. Please note down. Now we'll discuss the mode of action of the AIDS, or we can say the HIV virus. So, first of all, the HIV virus attacks we can say the macrophage or the CD4 plus or the T lymphocyte or the dendrites. Simply we know that in case of the HIV virus, it attacks the helper T cell, by which it kills the T cell, by which the B cell now it is unable to produce the antibody. So what happens? See, first of all, the helper, or we can say the HIV virus, comes near we can say the helper T cell. It binds to the helper T site to a specific site called the CD4 receptor site. There are various CD4 receptor site. Here it is there, here is there, here it is there. So it is firstly it will bind to the CD4 receptor site. Okay, you can see here this is the HIV virus having the, we can say, the globular spikes, glycoprotein spikes having the globular like structure called the GP120, then the GP120, then the GP41. So first of all, it will bind to the specific site called the CD4 receptor site. There are various CD4 receptor site, it will bind to the specific site. After it binds to the specific site to the plasma membrane, is the outer membrane is your plasma membrane. The genetic material in the virus is your, we know the two single-stranded RNA are present, as it is the retrovirus, and its genetic material is RNA. Okay. Then the RNA, as soon as it is released and the reverse transcriptase enzyme that is present, it helps in converting the viral RNA into the viral DNA inside the cytoplasm. Okay, so you can see the viral RNA is first introduced into the cell, and after that, by the help of the reverse transcriptase enzyme, the viral RNA is converted into viral DNA. Next, the viral DNA is incorporated into the host gene, by which the new viral RNA is being produced by the infected cell. After that, after the new viral RNA is being formed, after that budding forms or the budding occurs. Okay, after that the budding occurs. Okay, budding means it is a asexual mode of the reproduction. Budding occurs inside the macrophages, by which it becomes a fully formed HIV virus, and it burst. Finally, the helper T cell burst, by which the RNA virus the HIV virus comes out of the helper T cell, and finally the helper T cell is being destroyed. Okay, by which we can say the lysine or the rupture or the burst of the T cell takes place. Okay. Rupture of the T cell takes place. So in this way the HIV virus infect or attack the helper T cell. So once again I am saying, first of all, the HIV virus will attack the T cell or the helper T cell, such as your macrophages, CD4 plus, or the T lymphocyte or the dendritic cell. This is suppose your T cell, helper T cell, having surrounded by the plasma membrane. Okay, and one more point you should remember, that the surroundings, that the bilayer is due to the presence of the plasma membrane. From the plasma membrane only, of the host only, the bilayer is being formed of the HIV virus. Okay, so first of all, the virus will come and it will bind to the specific site, such as your CD4 receptor site. Okay, then as it will bind to the CD4 receptor site, then what happens, the viral RNA is being introduced. Firstly, that it will rupture, by which the viral RNA will introduce into the cell. After that, due to the reverse transcriptase enzyme, the RNA will converted into viral DNA. Then the viral DNA will be incorporated into the host genome, by which the new viral RNA is being produced by the infected cell. Lastly, the budding occurs inside the macrophages, and finally the T cells get burst, by which the lysine of T cell takes place, and the various HIV virus comes out of the, we can say, the T cell by bursting or killing the T cell. As the T cell will be killed now, or T cell will be destroyed now, or the helper T cell will be destroyed now, they are unable to help the B cell or the B lymphocyte to produce antibody. As our body is unable to produce now antibody, then what happens? Then our immunity system becomes lower, or we are unable to fight against various disease causing pathogen. Okay. So this is all about your mode of action of AIDS or HIV virus. Always remember, this bilayer that you are seeing of the HIV virus comes from the plasma membrane, or comes from the plasma membrane of the host. Always remember, this bilayer that you are seeing, it's always come from the host. Okay, bilayer of the HIV virus always come from the host. You can see here what happens here, the budding occurs, and after the budding it enclosed in between the plasma membrane of the host. So we can say that the bilayer that is formed around the covering, that is formed around the, we can say, the virus, it always comes from the host, or we can say from the plasma membrane of the host. Okay, so this is all about your mode of action of the AIDS or HIV virus. Okay, please note down. Next we'll discuss some common mode of the transmission. So your first mode of transmission is The common mode of transmission is your sexual intercourse with the infected person without using condoms. Sexual intercourse with the infected person or partner, infected person, you'll write, infected person without using condoms. Okay. Next, the blood transfusion from the infected person. Blood transfusion from the infected person. Okay. Next, use of the contaminated syringes, needles, razors, etc. Use of contaminated syringes, needles, razors, etc. Next, the transfer of the blood from the infected mother to the fetus through the placenta. Transfer of the blood from transfer of blood from the infected mother to the fetus through the placenta. Next is your organ transplantation. Lastly is your artificial insemination. Okay. So, what are the various? You also always remember the main mode of transmission is always your blood or semen. Okay. This is most important that the main mode of transmission is your blood or the semen. So, see. First, the sexual intercourse with the infected person without using the condoms, or we can say the unprotected sexual intercourse. Next, obviously, if the infected person is being infected by the HIV, then if someone receives the blood from the infected person, then there is also the 100% chance that the recipient's blood, when it will accept the infected person's blood, then he or she will also get infected by the HIV virus. Next, the use of the contaminated syringes or needles while giving the injections, then the razors in the barber shops, it should be properly sanitized or sterilized before using, or we can say sterilized, not sanitized. New syringes, needles or razors are being used. Okay, not sterilized or sanitized. Syringes, needles or razors, once it is being used for one particular person, it should be disposed or it should be thrown out, by which new razors, we can say syringes or needles are being used for a new person, so that there should be less chances of being infection of the HIV virus. Next, there is chance of transfer of blood from the infected mother to the fetus through the placenta. Next, during organ transplantation also there are chances of the being transmitted by the AIDS or HIV virus. And lastly, artificial insemination, as I said, is the blood or semen is the main source, or we can say the main reason behind the AIDS or HIV virus. So during artificial insemination, we know that the sperm donor can be some other one, or it may be the husband. The sperm should be first checked that it is infected or not. If it is not infected, then only artificial insemination could be done. Or without checking, if you are doing the artificial insemination, there are high chances of being infected by the AIDS. Now, how the AIDS does not spread? AIDS doesn't spread by we can say sharing towels, eating together, using same toilet, then using same the swimming pool, kissing, hugging, okay. Insect bite. Okay, so some people have the misconception that the using the infected persons the things another person will get infected by the HIV virus, but it is a misconception. AIDS does not spread by sharing the towels, eating together, using same toilet, using same swimming pool, kissing, hugging, or we can say the insect bites. Okay, AIDS does not spread by this. Okay, lastly, what is the incubation period? The incubation period of AIDS or HIV is about 6 months to 10 years. Okay, the incubation period, first time when the person is being exposed, and the time period up to which when it will show he or she will show the first sign or symptoms of the disease. So that is called your incubation. In the AIDS, the incubation period is about 6 months to it may lead up to 10 years. Okay. So this is all about your mode of transmission: sexual intercourse with the infected person without using condoms, blood transfusion from the infected person, use of contaminated syringe, needles, razors, etc., transfer of the blood from the infected mother to the fetus through the placenta, organ transplantation, artificial insemination. AIDS does not spread by the help of as we share the towels, eating together, using the same toilet, using same swimming pool, next the kissing, hugging, or the insect bites. And lastly, the incubation period is about 6 months to 10 years. Okay, please note down. So now we'll discuss the infection stage of the AIDS. So there are 3 infection stages. One is your active infection stage, then there is your clinical latency stage, last one the dangerous stage, that is your AIDS stage. Okay. So after the infection of the person by the virus, after the 2 to 4 weeks, the first infection stage comes, that is your active infection stage. So we can write it occurs after 2 to 4 weeks of infected by the virus. Okay, and some symptoms are being seen, such as we can say some symptoms such as your sore throat, muscle joint pains, then the headache, sore throat, muscles and joint pain, muscles and joints pain, then then the headache, okay, etc. And in this stage, there is much chance of spreading the disease. At this stage, there is much more chance of spreading the disease, much more chances of spreading the disease. Okay. Next is your clinically latency stage. What happens in this stage? The virus multiplicates in the host. The virus multiplicates inside the host. Okay, it could take up to 10 years of time, and the person can live longer by using the antiretroviral therapy. Antiretroviral therapy helps the person to live longer. Helps the person to live longer. Okay. To live longer. Okay, means as the virus replicate continuously, obviously it will destroy the, we can say, the helper T cell. But if the person is taking the antiretroviral therapy, then the multiplication can be stopped, or we can say it can be slowed down, and the person's life can also be extended, or we can say the person can live little bit longer life. Okay. Next, the last stage, that is your AIDS. In this, what happens? The CD4 plus cells or the lymphocytes CD4 plus lymphocytes, then the lymphocytes and the helper T cells count gets decreased in the blood. Okay, by which various symptoms are being seen, such as your recurring fever, recurring diarrhea, then the pneumonia, persistent coughing, okay, weight loss, then the sore mouth, anus, etc. Okay. So these are your various symptoms that in which the final stage of the AIDS it is being seen, in which the recurrent fever is being seen, recurrent diarrhea is being seen, okay, pneumonia, persistent coughing, then the weight loss is being seen, then the sore mouth, anus, etc. is being seen. So there are three important infection stages. First is your active infection stage, then is your clinical latency stage, last one is your AIDS. What happens in the active infection stage? It occurs after 2 to 4 weeks of the infection of the virus. Okay. In this stage, sore throat, then the muscles and joint pains, headache, etc. is being seen. At this stage, there is much more chances of spreading the disease. Next is your clinical latency stage. In this, the virus multiplication occurs in the host cell. It can take up to 10 years, and use of antiretroviral therapy by the person, or if the person goes for the antiretroviral therapy, then the person can live little bit longer. And then what happens in the last stage? The CD4 plus or the lymphocytes, helper T cell counts get heavily decreased in the blood, by which it is the final dangerous stage in which recurring fever occurs, recurring diarrhea occurs, pneumonia, persistent coughing, weight loss, sore mouth, anus, etc. occurs. Okay. So these are your various infection stages of the AIDS. Okay. Please note down. Now we'll discuss the diagnosis and the prevention. How the AIDS is being diagnosed? AIDS is being diagnosed by the enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, or we can say the ELISA test and the Western blotting test. Okay, you should remember the full form of the ELISA, the enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. Okay. Then the treatment is being done by the, we know that by the help of the medicine, or we discussed that the antiretroviral therapy. Okay. Next, by the help of the dextran sulfate, which helps in inhibiting the viral binding of the host cell. As we know, how the virus infects, they bind on the plasma membrane of the T cell. If we will help in inhibiting the binding of the virus, then obviously we can lower the chances of the infection. So, by the use of the dextran sulfate, it inhibits the viral binding of the host. Next, by using the azithromycin, zidovudine, or the deoxycytosine phosphophenoformate, which helps in inhibiting the reverse transcriptase. Means what? We know that the reverse transcriptase enzyme helps in converting the RNA into DNA. If we will help in inhibiting the action of the reverse transcriptase enzyme, then obviously we can prevent the formation of the RNA into the DNA. So, some medicines like the azithromycin, the zidovudine, the deoxycytosine, and the phosphophenoformate, which helps in inhibiting the reverse transcriptase, or we can say the inhibits the reverse transcription. Next, what are the various prevention? First is your awareness. 1st December is celebrated as the World's AIDS Day, so that the people should be aware of the aware of the AIDS disease. Okay, so a famous slogan is also there, that is, don't die of ignorance for the AIDS. Means what? In the case of the AIDS, don't die of the ignorance means, please don't you can say, don't ignore the various symptoms of the AIDS. If someone is seeing that he or she is having some symptoms of the AIDS, then he or she should immediately go for the checkup, and also he or she should immediately go for the treatment. Okay, or he or she should at least have the awareness about the AIDS disease. Okay, so that she should not be, or she could be prevented from the harmful disease called the AIDS. So, first is your awareness should be created, as the reason main the 1st December is declared as the World's AIDS Day, that is, it should be create awareness among the people. Next, not to use the common blades. Okay, during in the barber shop, sometimes the barber to save his or his money, they use the common blades, but it should, you are responsible that you should check that he or she is changing the blade or not. Next, he is changing a blade or not. So, not to use the common blades. Proper testing of the blood, semen, organs before donating. Okay, before donating the blood, or from the sperm donor, or from the organ donor during the organ transplantation, you should check that whether he or she is not infected by AIDS or not. Next, the proper testing of the mother, as there is high chance that the transport of the blood from the infected mother to fetus takes place through the placenta. Next, the dentist or the doctors should sterilize the equipments before it should be reused. Next, sexual intercourse should be monogamous, means keeping the sexual relationship with only one partner. Next, using the disposable needles. Okay, means once the needles or syringes are being used for the injection, it should be disposed. It should not be used once again. Next, the person should avoid tattoo or nose piercing, ear piercing from an unqualified purpose. Okay, they should do, if they are doing the tattoo or the nose piercing or ear piercing, they should do by the qualified or trained persons or experienced persons. They should not do by the help of the unqualified persons. So, these are your various diagnosis and the prevention. Okay, in diagnosis we discussed the various tests, that is your enzyme link immunosorbent assay and the Western blotting technique, ELISA and the Western blotting technique, by which AIDS is being diagnosed. Various treatments are also used, such as your antiretroviral therapy and the dextran sulfate, or you can say the dioxycytosine, which inhibits the reverse transcription, and also the dextran sulfate inhibits the viral binding of the host cell. Next, various prevention we discussed. One slogan, don't die of ignorance, means don't ignore the symptoms of the AIDS, should be aware of the AIDS. Next, for creating awareness, 1st December is declared as the World AIDS Day. Not to use common blade, proper testing of the blood, semen organ before donating, proper testing of the mother. And doctors should sterilize all the equipments before it should be reused. Sexual intercourse should be monogamous, means should keep the sexual relationship with one partner only. Then using the disposable needles means once the needles or syringes are being used, it should be disposed. And lastly, avoid tattoo, nose piercing and ear piercing by an unqualified person. They should do only by a experienced or qualified person. So as of today we discussed detail about the AIDS. AIDS is a disorder of the cell mediated immunity. It kills the helper T cell, which helps in producing the B cell to produce the antibody. As it kills the helper T cell, then the B cell is now not able to produce the antibody, and we are not capable to fight against the disease causing pathogen. Next we discuss that the discovery, then we discuss that the HIV is the main reason behind the AIDS, and we discuss the whole structure of the HIV. Next we discuss the diagnosis. Next we discuss the prevention, and also we discuss various the symptoms. Okay. Next we discuss the various infection stages, also we discussed. Okay. Also we discuss the mode of transmission. Okay. So today we completely discussed the whole AIDS portion. Okay. So that's all for today. We will meet in our next class. Thank you.